right, let's dive into one of the most mysterious and debated verses in the entire Bible. It's a single, cryptic line from the book of Revelation. We're going to explore a really compelling argument that claims to solve a 2,000-year-old puzzle, not with some new discovery, but by looking at another book written by the very same author.
So, what's this all about? Well, it really boils down to this one simple question. Who pierced Jesus? For centuries, the answer to that has been a huge point of debate. But what if the text itself has been holding the answer all along?
Okay, so here it is, Revelation 1, verse 7. It's this epic prophecy about the end times, but that one little phrase is our focus. Even those who pierced him. Who? Who is John, the author of Revelation, actually talking about here?
To figure that out, we have to start by digging into the prophecy itself. You know, this verse doesn't just exist on its own. It has a context, a backstory, and that's where our investigation really begins. So our first clue is the author himself. He just calls himself John. No last name, no title, nothing. He's the one who received this incredible apocalyptic vision while exiled on the island of Patmos. But here's the thing, and this is absolutely crucial. For most of Christian history, the tradition has been that this isn't the only thing this John wrote. And that connection, well, that's where things get really interesting. So you've got the John of Revelation, and then you have the traditional author of the Gospel of John, who was John the Apostle. For centuries, most people believed they were the same guy. Now, modern scholars debate this, for sure, but let's just follow that traditional line of thought for a moment. Let's assume one person wrote both books, because if you do that, wow, a powerful new way of reading this prophecy just opens right up. And that's really the heart of the argument. What if this wasn't supposed to be a mystery at all? What if John defined his own terms and gave us the key to unlock Revelation right there in the pages of his gospel? Let's go take a look. Okay, so we're jumping out of the cosmic, mind-bending stuff in Revelation and landing right in a very specific, very real moment in history, the crucifixion, as recorded in the Gospel of John. And boom, right there, in the Gospel of John, we get this incredibly specific detail. The author doesn't use vague language. He doesn't say humanity pierced him or anything like that. He says one of the soldiers did it, a Roman soldier. It's that specific. And what makes this so powerful, what gives it so much weight, is what the author says right after this. In the very next verse, he basically says, I was there. I saw this happen. He claims to be an eyewitness, standing right at the foot of the cross, watching this whole thing go down. Okay, so let's recap. We've got a prophecy about piercers in one book, and a crystal clear identification of a piercer in another book, and they're both attributed to the same guy. So, what happens when we put them side by side? I mean, the connection is just undeniable, isn't it? The author of the Gospel, right after describing the soldier with the spear, immediately says this was to fulfill a prophecy, and he uses almost the exact same phrase we find in Revelation. He's basically drawing a giant red arrow connecting the act of piercing to that Roman soldier. Let's just walk through this sequence, because this is the whole case. 1. Roman soldiers show up. 2. They confirm Jesus is already dead. 3. A soldier spears him in the side. And 4, this is the kicker, the author, John, then explicitly says this event is the fulfillment of the prophecy about looking on the one they pierced. So with all the evidence laid out like this, the conclusion starts to look, well, pretty straightforward. I mean, if you just follow the breadcrumbs the text itself leaves for you, there's not a lot of ambiguity left. The Gospel of John basically gives us a definition for the term piercers, and that definition is the Romans. So that brings us all the way back to our original mystery. If John is crystal clear in his Gospel that the piercers were Roman soldiers, why on earth would he mean someone completely different when he uses the same language in Revelation? The argument is, he wouldn't.
So the final answer this analysis gives us is that the mysterious piercers from Revelation 1:7 are in fact the Romans, the military and political power that actually carried out the crucifixion.
And listen, this isn't just a small academic detail. This rereading completely changes the focus of the verse. It's no longer some vague spiritual or ethnic statement. It becomes a direct political commentary on the biggest empire of the day. Now, to really get why that's such a game changer, we need this term, polemic. It's basically a strong written attack on a system or a belief.
And many scholars today view the book of Revelation as one giant polemic against the Roman Empire. This is where it all just clicks together. If the piercers are the Romans, then Revelation 1:7 fits perfectly into the book's larger anti-Roman theme. It becomes a prophecy that one day, even the mighty Roman Empire, the very system that executed Jesus, will bow down and recognize him. The verse is transformed into a statement of ultimate spiritual triumph over political might.
It really just shows you the power of reading things in context. By letting an author's own words in one place clarify his meaning in another, a passage that has been fought over for centuries can suddenly become stunningly clear.
And ultimately, that's the thought to leave you with. If context can so dramatically change how we read a single ancient verse, what else might we be missing just by reading things in isolation? It's a question that goes far, far beyond any one book.